Hey y'all, DT Neil coming back at you with superheroism. Um, Going back to what I said before about how I was, late 70s, early 80s, early to mid 80s, very enthusiastic in my Marvel comic collecting. Part of me, in the 90s, I came up with an entire universe of superheroes and villains that was both honoring it and kind of lampooning it a little bit. And I had drafted things, characters, I had done sketches and things, not literal sketches, but figurative sketches of characters, groups, and scenarios. And at the time when I was younger, I tried to draw comic book stuff, but I just wasn't good enough. I don't have the temperament for it. I don't have that. So I largely shelved that, just set it aside. And a couple of years ago, I was like, you know what? I want to give those characters life, proper life, literary life, and not have them just languish in limbo. And so I came up with, it's a 7-book series, the Shutterclique. And, book 1 is Bright Eyes. And you can see the design is intended to look like a comic book, but it's not. It's a novel. It's not a graphic novel either. It's a novel. And again, for me, that's just because I can't draw the stuff. Maybe one day, if I'm supremely fortunate, I'll be able to let it live as a graphic novel. But right now, it's prose. It's a novel. And this month, the second book in the series just came out, which is INFERNA. That's INFERNA on the cover, in case you were wondering. And it picks up where that one left off, where Bright Eyes left off. And I'm really pleased with the series. I think the Shutterclique is really good. I really enjoy it. Like, my love of comics, of that period of time in my life when I was really big on comics, I poured that into the Shutterclique. And in the context of the story, you've got one of the key protagonists is named Cameraman, and he doesn't have any powers. And I've alluded, I think, in one of my earlier posts about that. But he's an observer. He watches things, and he catches the bad guys by filming them and recording them doing bad things. He's like a one-man surveillance superhero. And another key character is Victoriana, who ends up being his love interest, and she is super powerful. She is very, very tough, Victoriana. And Bright Eyes takes Cameraman in a painful place. I won't say anything for spoilers, but he's in a rough place, and he is caught up in a plot where the partner of the titular character, Bright Eyes, whose name is Decibel, she has grave concerns about what her partner's doing, who is basically hunting and killing supervillains using her deadly eye beams. Okay, that's Bright Eyes on the cover. You don't want her looking at you that way. Anyway, this series it's scheduled to be 7 books, and I've got the first 3 written, and I gotta write the remaining 4 to get to the conclusion. But I love it. I think it's a really good series, and I really try to do justice to the superhero genre. I call it urban fantasy. That's really what superheroes are, the urban fantasy tales. And I think if you like classic comic book heroes and whatnot, One Element, a bit of The Boys, bit of Invincible, bit of Kick-Ass, bit of Mystery Men, things like that woven in there, I think you would appreciate the Shutterclique. So, shameless plug, but I am shameless in that regard. Inferna. It's out now. It's book 2 though, again, so you wanna really read book 1 if you're gonna know what's going on. Although I suppose you could. I tried to write them so you could pick that up, you know. If you picked up from book 2, you could do okay, but it'll be better if you read book 1. Anyway, my own attempts with regard to superheroism.